Welcome back. So we did see like zero shot prompting, few shot prompting, and then before going into the chain of thought, we did see how do we use Gemini API and use something called function calling to illustrate a traced-root example before going into chain of thought, right? Now, the next one that we did see was React, and we have seen a very good example of React. It combines reasoning with external tool usage, so it's more or less like you leave an agent and you ask it to figure out like what are the next steps when there are like available tools and stuff. Let's come to meta prompting. So if you have to generate a structured approach or a guide to anything, meta prompting is actually the best way to do something like that. What do I mean by that? So instead of like giving or mentioning what are the intricacies to do and configure on a router, you would do something which will leave the LLM to go recursive on the example or the prompt in itself. So what do I mean by that? So structure responses by outlining steps or logic without any of the specific examples. This is different from what we have seen from short prompting. Where do we use it? Define variables, apply formulas, or simplify results for math problems. Now, if you see, we gave it a prompt saying, generate a structured troubleshooting guide for diagnosing network connectivity. The guide should include steps for identifying the layer where the issue occurs, common tools to use at each step, key questions to ask during each step. It's a very nice prompt, right? Could as well use it. So generated output would be, check the physical layer. We asked it like, mention the tools. We did ask like, give us some questions, but we didn't give it any of the examples. We asked structured troubleshooting guide. Structured is like the keyword. Test the data link layer, tools, questions, verify network layer, tools, questions, right? It's a bad example. Write a guide for fixing network issues. Check if the network is working. If not, restart everything and try again. Yeah, that's not a guide, right? Let's go to Gemini. And what I will ask Gemini to do is say, please generate a structured configuration for BGP to prefer one outbound ISP over the other. List steps, reason, and sample configuration of a Cisco router. Classic question, right? Now, the moment we said it is structured configuration for BGP, if you see, it started like reasons for preferring an ISP, steps, so identify your ASN, which is nice, establish BGP, influence the BGP best path selection process, right? Set local preference, nice. Consider other attributes. So weight, AS path prepending is another classic. Multi-exit discriminator is another classic, right? And sample configuration, it gave a BGP AS, an ISP, and an ISPB, and what are we preferring? So we are preferring ISPA over ISPB, and the configuration that it gave is for a Cisco router. So it's using a route map, setting a local preference, and it's giving us the information and verification and consideration of the policies in itself. Now this is really a very nice structured guide. Now if you feed it back to another agent for the troubleshooting, that's when like you start connecting the chain of agents and you make it a very powerful one. In the next video we'll see another and final prompt, and we'll come to a conclusion on the prompts. So thank you so much.